I'm very curious, how was it to meet and work with Deepika Padukone?
I'm sitting there on the camera and I'm telling to Deepika Padukone, I'm like, actionum, cuttum.
When did you started getting attracted to money?
Very honestly, very recently.
My sari is sponsored. That is why I am wearing a sari. Are those days when you realize that you might have yelled at the team for the wrong reason?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I still feel heavy about it. Some days I walk into the office and I feel like crap.
Women are a little tough to work with. Back to that mood. What would be your definition of feminism?
This is where I get into trouble.
You're thinking to be politically correct. Have you had a bad experience where you felt like another woman is pulling you down?
I have had women who talked trash about me, who have slut shamed me. And playback is not gonna.
All this while I thought being emotional is a sign of weakness. Women and women just don't get along. Women and women don't get along. Hi guys, welcome to the Mumbai Malayali show, where I interview people or personalities who have kind of helped shifting the narrative in their community. This guest is extremely special. I know her for the last 1.5 years. She was humble enough to accept my invitation. She's also a well-known personality in Kochi media fraternity. She is a co-founder of Real Tribe, which is a content studio. She's worked with multiple brands on a national level. She's also worked with a lot of celebrities. What makes this podcast even more special is she's also one of my few inspiration out there. She's go-getter, she's a lady boss, she's a fighter. And I'm really looking forward to this podcast. So let's see what she has today to tell us.
That was very sweet of you.
Yeah. But there's nothing like, you definitely know your worth. You are the woman of substance, and I would say you are the page 3 woman of Kochi.
Okay.
That's like a derogatory term. People see it here, but that's how I see it.
That doesn't mean that I am the gossip person.
No. So first of all, thank you so much for taking out time coming here on a Sunday morning.
Only happy to.
How are you feeling today?
I'm always excited to be part of something that's, just starting off. Because I feel like it's easier to plug yourself to something that's already established and everything. But I'm excited to be part of your journey of you starting a podcast. And it's exciting when young women come and want to do things a little differently. Sunday morning, Saturday evening. So I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited to know what you want to ask me.
So, Neetu, when I left Bombay, after 27 years, and I left Bombay in the peak of my career.
Yeah.
A lot of people kept asking me, why would I leave everything and come to a tier 2 city like Kochi? I was working with the biggest of the biggest brands, with the biggest of the biggest celebrities. Everything was going well. And I decided to come to Kochi and start from the scratch. In terms of career, in terms of every aspect, I decided to start. In your case, I know that you were in Switzerland before you were in Kochi.
Yeah.
So I think the jump is way riskier, I would say. So what made you, or what made me to leave Switzerland and take that decision that, yes, I'm going to come to Kochi and start from here?
So I don't think I consciously made that decision, to be honest, for a longest period of time. Initially, that I'm going to make the jump and all that. My parents used to keep sending me to study and for college and everything. So the Kerala experience was given to me by my parents. Actually, the reason I'm staying here is very simple, and this is what I've told my parents also. Switzerland is a country I don't think needs me. It's sorted, right? But I, for some reason, feel like in India, but for Kerala, maybe there is something that I can add value to. There's maybe something I can do a little differently, or maybe I can contribute. Adipa, I'm not talking about changing the world and all of that, but if you can create a little impact, I still think that's a huge thing. So I have always felt like there's a purpose for me in being here. And maybe in Switzerland, it's just for me to enjoy the glory of whatever my parents have built, and that's about it. അതല്ലാണ്ട് എനിക്ക് അവിടെ കൂടുതൽ എന്റേതായിട്ടൊന്നും കോൺട്രിബ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാനില്ല എന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. That is the one main reason that keeps me rooted here and keeps me wanting to do more work here.
ഞാൻ കേരള ഒക്കെ എക്സ്പ്ലോർ ചെയ്തത് പ്രിയദർശന്റെ മൂവീസ് സൂര്യ ടിവിയിലും ഏഷ്യനെറ്റ് ടിവിയിലും I have explored Kerala through those summer vacations and through those movies and everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to know a bit of my own culture. More than that, I felt like there's a lot of opportunities here
100%.
in terms of building a career, in terms of creating an impact. Because I felt like in Bombay, things are already sorted. I don't know if I can scale it up more. Akshay, ivide, I can literally be a part of the race from the start.
Yeah.
So in that case, I know that you have learned engineering, computer engineering to be very specific. So computer engineering padicha Neetu, how did you move to, I would say, the media fraternity?
Even before engineering, I was this girl who always had a plan in terms of എനിക്ക് ഇത് പഠിക്കണം, എനിക്ക് ഇന്നത് ചെയ്യണം. I wanted to study journalism. I wanted to do international affairs and all of those things. പക്ഷെ nothing ever in my life went according to my plan. It was always just something else. Engineering was, for example, something that I always kept saying, ഞാൻ എന്ത് പഠിച്ചാലും ഞാൻ engineering പഠിക്കില്ല. അവസാനം I ended up doing that only. I also used to always say, എന്ത് വന്നാലും ഞാൻ ബിസിനസ് ചെയ്യില്ല. I'm now doing that only. At some point, I just surrendered myself to the process. I like, okay, എന്തെങ്കിലും ആവട്ടെ. But engineering കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് കൊച്ചിയിലോട്ട് വരാനുള്ള reason was music. I had the opportunity to sing in a couple of films during college. And I just got curious. I was like, okay, എന്തിപ്പോ ഞാൻ ഒന്നും ചെയ്യാണ്ട് ഇത് സംഭവിച്ചു. Now then what will happen if I actually give it a shot and I try? And I always liked performing. Shows ഒക്കെ എനിക്ക് ഇന്നും ഇഷ്ടമാണ് അന്നും ഇഷ്ടമായിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ അതിനു വേണ്ടി I thought Kochi is maybe a good place to be. So I had a job. I got placed from college itself. Then jolly ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ I used to, after work run off to studios and do recordings and see if I can do shows and everything. So it was a lot of fun at that time. പക്ഷെ deep inside, I always knew that software engineering is not for me. I have no idea what I was doing at Smart City and all of that. I was like, no, not working. അതിന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എനിക്ക് ഒറ്റയടിക്ക് ട്രാൻസിഷൻ ചെയ്യാനും പറ്റത്തില്ല. Because I don't know if you also have the same feeling. For me, I come from a place where ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ ഇന്നൊരു ജോലി റിസൈൻ ചെയ്താ I need to know that I have another job in my hand. Or I know I have another alternate source of income. The idea of just quitting and seeing what happens to you still till date freaks me out. എനിക്ക് അറിയണം അടുത്ത മാസം എന്താ ഫൈനാൻഷ്യലി എന്റെ അവസ്ഥ എന്നുള്ളത്. Maybe it's the most middle class thing ever, I don't know. But adinu vannu then I moved to an event management company where I honestly will say anything about business and being and dealing with people ഞാൻ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് പഠിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് അവിടെ നിന്നാന്ന് ഞാൻ പറയുള്ളൂ. I work for Ergo and Wishtree എന്ന് പറയുന്ന one of the biggest event management companies here, and I had the biggest opportunity to work under Rajesh Shettin, who even today is like a mentor, like a brother who teaches me so many things when it comes to. ഞാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം ഒരു മീറ്റിംഗിന് പോയപ്പോൾ രാജേട്ടനോട് ചോദിച്ചു, രാജേട്ടൻ, how do you stay so calm when you actually just want to punch people in the face? He's like, Mola, it's okay. So I've learned a lot. I still learn a lot from him. Avadinnu then I moved to a branding and marketing agency where I learned the advertising side of it, the branding side of things. And then all of it just made sense and it came together and Real Tribe happened. So എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഇതിന് മുന്നേ സംഭവിച്ചതെല്ലാം in some way was building me to be able to do what I'm doing today. And only after Real Tribe started did I have a plan.
Okay. Up
until then, was never part of my plan.
Which leads me to my next question. At the age of 29?
Yeah.
You are now one co-founder.
Yeah.
Yes. And Real Tribe is one of the largest content studio in Kerala. You all have done some amazing brand work.
Thank you.
Collaborated. You guys are also leading some of the top influencers of Kerala. I've also seen you and your team flying to Bombay, doing some events. A lot of milestones have happened the last 1 year of at least me knowing you. I'm sure there's a lot of that has happened before also. But you also met Deepika Padukone. You have worked very closely with her as well. You said that this was never a plan. But subconsciously, did you kind of put it down that, okay, like I'm sure, like when you're saying it's not a plan, yeah, even I say it's not a part of the plan, but I have a list of 5 things that I already like, I want to work with X, Y, Z. So somewhere subconsciously, this is where you want it to be, or you think this is still a journey and you want to reach somewhere else as well?
So after Real Tribe happened, from there I kind of wanted to take control in my hand, right? Where I was like, okay, ഇതൊക്കെ എൻ്റെ ലൈഫിൽ എങ്ങനെയോ സംഭവിച്ചു, പക്ഷെ ഇനി സംഭവിക്കുന്നത് എനിക്ക് കുറച്ചുകൂടെ കോൺഷ്യസ്ലി ഡയറക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, കുറച്ചുകൂടി. And I am a huge believer of manifesting. I tell this to my team, I tell this to anybody that I run into in my life. If I can show you my phone, and the phone, the wallpaper, I have my vision board. Yeah. I have it in my room. I do this religiously every year. New Year എന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ആക്ടിവിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്റെ വിഷൻ ബോർഡ് അസംബ്ലി എന്നുള്ളതാ. And ever since that, I mean, it may all sound a little Pinteresty and dreamy and whatnot, but I have seen it in my life.
And it worked for you.
It worked, and I still believe in it, because it's not like you just look at a picture and, oh, this is nice, and then you keep looking at it and somehow it happens. Of course, you're working towards it, and things start working for you towards it. Yes, I have had plans later on where I said, okay, ee varsham enike inna sthalathattanam, I want to be in this room, I want to make things happen for these people, I want to have these kind of conversations. That, yes, that I do plan around.
Okay.
That is there.
I'm very curious, how was it to meet and work with Deepika Padukone? Because it was like a person I know, a Malayali, representing Kerala, because you were representing an influencer from Kerala, and you went there. So it felt like a personal victory. Call me biased, but oru Malayali ne evde poi kandalu, yes, Malayali, we did it. So it felt like a personal victory there, that wow, a representative, because oru scale, I think it was Deepika Padukone's skincare launch, where a lot of time influencers from tier 2 markets are still not recognized. LM event, in all the events, it's always the top 10 influencers you see in all the events. It's the same influencers you are seeing again and again and again and again. In that kind of a circle, seeing 2 to 3 women from Kerala traveling and going and being a part of the launch, it felt like, wow, we did it. This is just a start. So I would say that Neetu, you are somewhere pioneering this entire thing of like representation, because at the end of the day, we are all here because representation matters.
100%.
We are trying to make a mark from where we come from, in a national scale, in a global scale, and someone has to start it. So it felt like that, you are the torch bearer for that, you and your team.
Thank you
so
much.
How was it to working with Deepika Padukone, who is like the national icon, I would say, or global icon?
I have to take a minute and genuinely give a lot of credit to Aparna. Aparna Thomas ആണ് അവിടെ ആ ക്രിയേറ്റർ ആയിട്ട് പോയി അപർണയുടെ കോണ്ടന്റ് ആണ് അവിടെ ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തത്. And I genuinely believe a lot of it never is just one thing that gets you there. എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും ഒരുമിച്ച് അലൈൻഡ് ആയിട്ട് വരുമ്പോഴാണ് നമുക്കിത് നടക്കുക. So of course there is Real Tribe doing Real Tribe's work, and Aparna doing exceptional content for a long period of time. And then at that point we were also working together. So that all came urimiche. And in Deepika's team also, there were people who we met way before this project happened, where situations. So it also helped that they also knew us. And when we came onto the set to shoot, it was not like walking into a strange place altogether. For some reason, these people also knew us. We worked together before. ഇതൊക്കെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരുമിച്ച് വന്നതാ സത്യം പറഞ്ഞ. The experience as such was just madness. Like we got 2 days back, 2 ദിവസം മുന്നേ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് കോള് വരുന്നത്, we need to give ideas, and then we sat together and we had like 6 ideas we pitched. അതിൽ ഒരെണ്ണം അവർക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു, and then we had to immediately decide who's going to shoot and how do you do this. അങ്ങനെ everything was just quick. ഒരു ദിവസം like morning they flew in, അന്ന് ഉച്ച കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തു, അന്ന് രാത്രിക്കത്തെ ഫ്ലൈറ്റിന് തിരിച്ചും വന്നു. And it was just it was too fast for us to process anything. But one thing I very fondly remember is how professional she was about the whole thing. And ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോഴും പറയുന്നുണ്ട്, ഞങ്ങൾ കയറി ചെല്ലുന്ന സമയത്ത് we had an entire script written which
Hmm.
she was standing and she was reading through the script.
Hmm.
And it was a question answer thing. Actually, ആൾക്ക് question വായിച്ചില്ലെങ്കിലും she can answer it and all.
Yeah.
But she was actually taking the effort to stand there and read and understand, okay, who is asking this? What is my point of view? And that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy watching. I really, really like it when people are on a set and they know what they want. They know that they also have to contribute and it's just not going to happen that way. ഭയങ്കര പ്രൊഫഷണൽ ആയിരുന്നു, ഭയങ്കര രസമായിരുന്നു. ദി എൻറ്റയർ ടീം വാസ് വെരി സോർട്ടഡ് ആൻഡ് വെരി വെൽക്കമിങ്. സോ it was a crazy experience. ഞാൻ തിരിച്ച് വന്ന് കുറച്ച് ദിവസം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതൊന്ന് പ്രോസസ് ചെയ്തത്.
Did you get a chance to talk to Deepika Padukone on one-on-one?
Not for too long, because it was like slots പോലെയായിരുന്നു. എല്ലാരും വരുന്നു, like you shoot for maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes and then you exit. അങ്ങനെ. But I was the one who was behind the camera. I'm literally
You directed that entire part.
So for me it was like a pinch me moment. I'm sitting behind the camera and I'm telling to Deepika Padukone, I'm like ആക്ഷനും കട്ടും ഇത് ചെയ്യണം ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കണം എന്നൊക്കെ ഞാൻ പറയാം. I'm like, what? It was very surreal for me. It was very weird for me, to be honest. And also it felt very powerful because our room I was one of the few women. So if you suddenly get that kind of a power to do that, also it was very satisfying.
It was like all the strong women coming under, just doing what they're good at.
Pretty much. And then the other room you have Kusha Kapila and all of those people also ready, like all the other creators who do killer content, and you get to see them. And then and honestly, Sandhya, the happiness of seeing Aparna, a Malayali creator, represented finally along with these national creators was beyond satisfying for two reasons. One, because she's a friend and I genuinely get excited when your friends do good things.
Yeah.
And two, because as a studio, as a team, we always wanted this. We always wanted our creators to go and have bigger representations.
Yeah.
So ചെറിയ രീതിയിലാണെങ്കിലും വലിയ രീതിയിലാണെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമ്പോൾ ഭയങ്കര സന്തോഷമാണ്. It is very satisfying.
And this is just a start.
Yeah.
This is just a start. The fact that you guys could crack an opportunity there with Kusha Kapila, the big like national level women creators, avade thanne oru share a space with them itself is like a big, very, very, very big thing.
Yeah.
Talking about women representation as well as culture representation. Neetu at like എനിക്ക് ഇന്നും ഒരു ബിസിനസ് തുടങ്ങാനാണെങ്കിൽ ഐ എം ടു സ്കെയർഡ് ബിക്കോസ് മൈ റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ് വിത്ത് മണി it's more terrible than my relationship with all my exes. No one taught me how to deal with money. No one taught me how to be a girlfriend too. But അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സമയത്ത് were you always a money inclined person? The reason I'm asking is Kochilaipo, when people used to ask me what you want to be, I would just be like A, B, C, D. But today if people ask me what I want to be, I definitely know that I want to be self-reliant, financially secure. Financially secure in the vaakku polum adinte artham and what weight it brings in, probably I came to know a year before. Because I always thought that financially secure is like it's men's responsibility. I always felt that was because I've been brought up in that way that money was never associated with me. So for me it was always like okay, I want to be that, I want to be this, but how much money I'm making, that never really bothered, because I was like, I'll just follow my passion. But I never thought about money coming with it. Angartha oru sandarbhathil today you are running where you are how many employees do you have in Real Tribe?
25.
You are responsible for 25 people's household, I would say. Not putting that pressure on you, but it takes a lot of responsibility that you need to ensure that the salary hits at their bank time, at the right time, as well as they're happy. Oru 25 aalkare team aanu today you are managing, and it's a big, big responsibility. So when was the time you realized, when did you started getting attracted to money?
Very honestly, very recently. Because I mean, to give you context, it's not like I never grew up with the idea of women being attached to money. And I am very grateful to my parents, because in that way I grew up in a very balanced power dynamics all over the household. I've seen my dad do everything around the house. I've seen my mom also do everything around the house. I have a brother who does everything also. I mean, so അങ്ങനെ എനിക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഡിഫറൻസിയേഷൻ കണ്ട് ഞാൻ വളർന്നിട്ടില്ല. I've seen my mom for the longest time handle the finances വീട്ടില്, and you know, like മാസാവസാനം ഇത് അടയ്ക്കണം, ഈ ബില്ല് അടയ്ക്കണം, all of those things. She only takes care of it with my dad also.
Okay.
So അത് ഞാൻ അങ്ങനെ കണ്ട് വളർന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ at the same time, I have never been somebody who used to think എനിക്ക് X amount of money ഉണ്ടാക്കണം, and then I want to secure myself and I want to do this up until maybe 2 years back. അത് 2 വർഷം മുന്നേ ആണ് I don't know if this comes with age or I don't know what it
but
is.
something would have made you feel like wow, like something might have pushed you, like when did you like first love?
My dad and mom have always made sure that I have a very healthy and very realistic relationship with money. But I still have to be very honest, even today I don't think I understand money fully. My company works that smoothly, or we are able to handle money properly because I have people who compensate for my lack of knowledge in it. എനിക്ക് knowledge ഇല്ലാത്തതിന്റെ അല്ല, പക്ഷെ my focus is way more on other things. So for example, we in our ഞങ്ങൾ 3 partners ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, അതിനകത്ത് Binu is the guy who handles money. He is the guy who comes to me at, you know, like 10th day of the month, and he's like, dude, listen, we need to lock itre more clients by 20th for us to survive the month. Do what you have to do for it. And the division of work is very clear. I handle the mental health side of my team. You handle the salary side of the team. And you make sure we have creative ideas going out. അങ്ങനെ മാത്രമേ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ എന്ന് ഞാൻ ഒരു പ്രോസസ്സിൽ പഠിച്ചു. But coming back to your point, the biggest joy that I experience right now is when I go out, I buy myself a meal, I buy someone else a meal, I buy something to wear, I see a good dress and I can get it for myself. I know that this is my money. ഞാൻ നടു ഒടിഞ്ഞ് കാശുണ്ടാക്കിയതാണെന്ന് എനിക്കറിയാം. If I go for a trip, I can enjoy it even more because I worked hard for this. It's not somebody else I'm reliant on to be able to do this. And I think എനിക്കിപ്പം ഏറ്റവും സന്തോഷം കിട്ടുന്നത് is when I'm not in a place where I can already buy a house or buy a car. Not there yet. I don't think that's also what excites me. പക്ഷെ if let's say when dad and mom come നാട്ടിലോട്ട്, അവരെന്റെ കൂടെ വന്ന് താമസിക്കുകയും ഞാൻ അവർക്ക് 3 നേരത്തെ ഭക്ഷണം വാങ്ങിച്ചു കൊടുക്കുകയും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് ഒരു ഡ്രസ്സും സാരിയൊക്കെ വാങ്ങിച്ചു കൊടുക്കുകയൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ these are the little things that get you excited, right?
The experience and the time with them and everything.
And no, just also the fact that you are now able to give back to your parents.
Yeah.
And I'm still, I mean, my sister is way over, I mean, she's a nurse, but she's making a lot of money. Good for her, and she's a smart girl. അവള് ചിലപ്പോൾ എന്നെക്കാട്ടിലും ഫൈനാൻഷ്യലി കുറെ കൂടെ സോർട്ടഡ് ആയിരിക്കും. ബിക്കോസ് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത് is a little bit of കുറച്ച് സമയം എടുക്കും അതൊന്ന് സെറ്റ് ആവാനായിട്ട്. But it's still gratifying to know that I have, I mean, I keep saying Saturday and Sunday I'm sit at home. I sit at my house and just do nothing. I want to just sit there and eat food and watch Netflix and chill. That is so satisfying when you know that you're doing this on your own terms and with your own money. So I think that is a huge it's a huge gift. The moment, that first time that you realize that you're independent financially, there's no looking back after that. It's just പിന്നെ തിരിച്ചു പോകാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല നമുക്ക് അതിൽ നിന്ന്.
Do you call yourself ambitious?
100%.
Oh,
very.
So how it was like my father, I think at the age of 21, he ensured that I have an LIC. At the age of 24, he ensured I have Aditya Birla Insurance.
Yeah.
Because I come from a very, very typical middle class Malayali family. That, you know, more your 40 or 30% salary should be in savings.
Yeah.
Other 20% should be there. Maybe only 20 or 30% you should be spending on yourself. Baki ellam should go in your savings.
Yeah.
But today I'm like, I want to save money, but as much as that, I also want to spend money on experiences. Ee samayathu oru software engineer aittu oru itrem salary vechu where you could have settled, you chose a very risky path.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Irvadandi, you'll have to clock in another 3 clients for your agency to survive. Sorry, for your production team to survive.
Yeah.
At any point, have you felt taking a safe path was a better choice?
On your bad days, you do feel like that. Like we all have good days, bad days.
Yeah.
So on the bad days, and I wake up and I'm like, ഇതിന്റെയൊക്കെ വലിയ ആവശ്യമുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഒരു 9 മണിക്ക് ക്ലോക്കിങ് ചെയ്യുക, 6 മണിക്ക് ക്ലോക്ക് ഔട്ട് ചെയ്യുക, മനസ്സമാധാനമായിട്ട് വീട്ടിൽ കിടന്നുറങ്ങുക, വേറെ ടെൻഷനൊന്നും അടിക്കാണ്ട് ഒരു ജോലി ചെയ്തുകൂടായിരുന്നു. I do have those days. I would be lying if I say I don't. But this joy I find in whatever I'm doing today is way beyond that. That question for me passes if I sit with it for 2 hours. I just let it happen and I cry it out or whatever, and then I am like, okay, now next go. Because whatever I get to do today by leading a team and by putting together a system or by working and trying to find new opportunities and all of those things, ആ സന്തോഷം എനിക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും എന്റെ വേറൊരാൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്ന എനിക്ക് കിട്ടില്ല. And I was generally from like കുഞ്ഞായിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ തൊട്ട് I was always tagged to be this little തലതെറിച്ച പെണ്ണ് who can't ആരുടെയും കീഴെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ അവൾക്ക് അറിയില്ല, she can't work for people എന്നുള്ള സാധനം എനിക്ക് പണ്ടും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. So maybe I shouldn't try to be something that I'm not. So yes, greedy, I don't know. അങ്ങനെ ഞാൻ ഇപ്പൊ എന്റെ പുറകിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടോ എന്ന് എനിക്ക് അറിയത്തില്ല, എന്റെ മുമ്പിൽ ആരും എന്നോട് പറഞ്ഞു കേട്ടിട്ടില്ല. പക്ഷെ over ambitious, yes.
People have termed you over ambitious.
Yeah. I have people, and it's even more painful when you hear it from people who you think are your friends or who you think are your family, who say things like, ഇത്രയ്ക്ക് എന്തിനാ പണിയെടുക്കണേ, why are you doing all of this, you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself, you can do it a little easier. See, that I understand if your intention may be caring for me, but then that cannot be by lowering my pace or by putting me down like that when I am very consciously, I'm 29, I know what I'm doing, I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള അഭിപ്രായങ്ങൾ കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ ചില സമയത്ത് you feel a little was that necessary? But over ambitious ഞാൻ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, അത്രയ്ക്കൊക്കെ ആഗ്രഹിക്കണോ, ഇത്രയ്ക്കൊക്കെ സ്വപ്നം കാണണോ. But you know what, Sandhya, in the last 2 years I have consciously filtered, universe has also filtered a lot of people out of my life who, when I come up and say എനിക്ക് ദീപിക പടുക്കോന്റെ കൂടെ ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്യണം, I am now not surrounded by people who will say ഇച്ചിരി അഹങ്കാരമല്ലേ, അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ ആഗ്രഹിക്കണോ. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ എന്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഇപ്പൊ ഇല്ല. So today I'm surrounded by people who, when I come and say, hey, I want to shoot this person or I want to do this project, I want to do this,
they say let's do it.
Immediate thought process is, how do you make it happen? Huge game changer to have people like that around you. And I consciously detach myself also from people who say, yeah, don't you think that's a little too much? I don't think there's any such thing. The world is not that big. So അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാരെ എന്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ നിന്ന് പോയപ്പോ തന്നെ അങ്ങനത്തെ ശബ്ദങ്ങൾ ഞാൻ കേൾക്കണ്ടായി. So that has made it a lot easier.
How do you see yourself as a leader? And is there any difference that you have noticed as a woman when you enter the boardroom? What are your observations about it?
So me as a leader, I think I am a work in progress. I don't believe in people saying things like you're born with leadership skills and stuff like that. ചില ആൾക്കാർക്ക് ചിലപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു റൂം കമാൻഡ് ചെയ്യാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആൾക്കാരുടെ റെസ്പെക്ട് പിടിച്ചെടുക്കാനോ ഉള്ള ഒരു സാധനം കുറച്ച് കൂടുതൽ ഉണ്ടാവാം. ബട്ട് ഐ സ്റ്റിൽ തിങ്ക് ദാറ്റ് സംതിങ് യു കെൻ ലേൺ, ആൻഡ് ഇഫ് യു ആർ ഇൻ ദ റൈറ്റ് എൻവയൺമെന്റ് വിത്ത് ദ റൈറ്റ് പീപ്പിൾ, that will come out of you. I think 4 years munne when we started, I had my fair share of mistakes. I have done a lot of things where I did not know what my boundaries are in terms of where do I cut off myself emotionally, or how much do I invest or how much do I not invest into my team's emotions or into their personal lives or into having them sorted in their life as well. അങ്ങനെ കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഞാനിതൊന്നും നമ്മൾ ആരും ഇതൊന്നും പഠിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടല്ലോ ഇത് ചെയ്യുന്നത് essentially. So I think every year or every day I keep learning, I keep growing. One thing that I realized today is that I have to do work on myself first to be able to be leading anybody. ആദ്യമൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേനും നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ള ലീഡേഴ്സ് എന്താണോ അത് തന്നെ നമ്മൾ റിഫ്ലക്ട് ചെയ്യാനേ നോക്കത്തുള്ളൂ. ബട്ട് അവിടെയും you never know if that leadership is the right kind of leadership, or if that was maybe not really the healthy leadership style. And I also have learned in the process that I can only be a good leader if I let people in my team also take ownership of what they do. അപ്പോൾ അതും ഒരു പ്രോസസ് ആയിരുന്നു, ബിക്കോസ് ഐ കം ഫ്രം എ പ്ലേസ് വെയർ എവറിഥിങ് ദറ്റ് ഐ ഹവ് ഡൺ ഹാസ് ഓൾവേസ് ബിൻ മൈക്രോ മാനേജ്ഡ്. എല്ലാവരും ഇങ്ങനെ ഇടപെട്ട് എനിക്ക് ശീലമുള്ളൂ. സോ സ്വാഭാവികമായിട്ട് നമ്മളൊരു സാധനം ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ ടെൻഡൻസി ഈസ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ഓൾവേസ് ബി ഇൻഡൾജ്. ഇതിങ്ങനെ വന്നാലേ അത് ശരിയാവൂ, ഞാൻ ചെയ്താലേ ശരിയാവൂ. ഡെലിഗേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാന്നൊക്കെ പറയണത് എനിക്ക് വലിയ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്. ബട്ട് യു ഗ്രോ ആൻഡ് യു ലേൺ ആൻഡ് in the process you start realizing that okay. So I think my leadership skill for me is a work in progress, but I think that's the case for anybody. Even when I talk to other startup owners or to other leaders and other CEOs and marketing heads and whatever, I feel like the biggest disconnect I have is when they just are very strongly rooted in the feeling that ഞാൻ ഈ ചെയ്യുന്നത് മാത്രമാണ് ശരി. I don't think you can say that. ഇപ്പം you mentioned I work with a very young team. എന്നെ ലീഡ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്ന എൻ്റെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ പപ്പയുടെയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെയോ കമ്പനീസിലെ ലീഡേഴ്സ് ആയിട്ട് നിന്ന ആൾക്കാരുടെ കൾച്ചറും സ്റ്റൈലും എന്തായിരുന്നോ അതിപ്പോൾ ഈ പിള്ളേരുടെ അടുത്ത് നടക്കത്തില്ല. യു കാണ്ട് യൂസ് യു കാണ്ട് യൂസ് ദാറ്റ് അപ്രോച്ച്. അപ്പൊ I also have to do my bit of learning because I have to acknowledge I'm almost 30. I'm not in the same age category. Their world is not really my world. അപ്പൊ അവരുടെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളായിരിക്കില്ല എന്റെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ. So if I have to understand what they want, I have to understand them. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഇപ്പൊ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് വെച്ചാൽ എല്ലാ ദിവസവും to some capacity, it may be reading a book on leadership ആവാം, it may be listening to somebody else ആവാം, it may be having conversations with other people who have similar situations ആവാം, but I make sure I keep learning. And I am very honest about the fact that even to my team also, ഞാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഷോ ഞങ്ങൾ ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാണ്, എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും the first thing I say is എനിക്കിത് ചെയ്ത് ശീലമില്ല. I'm being very upfront about it. I'm not going to act like this person who has it all sorted and now you just follow. No, എനിക്കും അറിയില്ല, ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളോട് പഠിക്കാണ്. I might have a few years more experience than you in life or in work, but that's all I have. And I might know how to command certain rooms a little better. But എന്നും പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളെക്കാളും മുകളിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണെന്ന് ഞാൻ സാധാരണ പോർട്രേ ചെയ്യാൻ എനിക്കിപ്പോ ആഗ്രഹിക്കാറുമില്ല. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സെൻസ് ഓഫ് പവറിൽ ഹൈ കണ്ടെത്തുന്ന ഒരാളും അല്ല ഞാൻ.
But what you said is very interesting, that it's a work in progress. There are days even you can be wrong, because there we have been trained and like the boss is always right. So boss namle valku parayumbo we don't sit and argue where we come from. Like when we had our boss and boss is like, this is wrong, how can you do it? They would yell at us that and this, and we would just take it and feel bad about it. But so that way bosses are always right. But when you become one, there are days when I've realized that maybe I am the one wrong here. And I was like, how much of it can I show it? Because if I completely show, then I might be seen as a weak person. But if I don't show it, I'm not being honest. So there are those days like I might have shouted, yelled, because that was wrong or whatever. And then maybe I was part of, like, maybe the team was not completely wrong. But then I had to do it. And then I came home and I was crying. But I can't cry in front of the team. And then I realized that, fuck, no one taught me how to do this. No one taught me how to be a boss, because we just thought that, okay, you know, you're just getting a hike, being a next level. Then one day, that's the thing you told, that vulnerability and putting that boundaries and all. We need to, it's a work in progress. So now you know etra vulnerability should I show, considering the mental health, considering the boundaries, considering like how much honest and because sometimes there are those days when you realize that you might have yelled at the team for the wrong reason.
I still feel heavy about it. 2 വർഷം മുന്നേ ഒക്കെ നടന്ന കാര്യമായിരിക്കും, പക്ഷെ അതിനെ കുറിച്ച് എനിക്ക് ഇപ്പോഴും കുറ്റബോധം തോന്നാറുണ്ട്. ഫോർ ദ ഫാക്ട് ദാറ്റ്, ഓ ഷേ, ഞാൻ അങ്ങനെ റിയാക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ലായിരുന്നു. ബിക്കോസ് ആ സമയത്തൊക്കെ എന്തായിരുന്നു പ്രശ്നം എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, ദ ടീം ദാറ്റ് യു ഹാവ് വിത്ത് യു കുറച്ച് പേരല്ലേ ഉള്ളൂ. സോ യു ഹാവ് ദിസ് ടെൻഡൻസി ടു ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് ദം ലൈക്ക് യുവർ ഓൺ. ബിക്കോസ് ഞങ്ങൾ രാവിലെ തൊട്ട് വൈകുന്നേരം വരെ ഒരുമിച്ച. There's nothing else. We go for lunch together, dinner together, we work together. So ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു പോയിന്റിൽ നമ്മളും മറന്നു പോവും that there is this team dynamics that you have, where I am a leader and you are working with the team.
Yeah.
അങ്ങനെ ഇപ്പൊ ചില സമയത്ത് ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ സംഭവിക്കുമ്പോൾ you get so overtly emotional that you just end up bursting out at them like you would burst out at your brother or sister. അത് നമ്മുടെ ഉള്ളിൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ അവരെ ഡാമേജ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുള്ള ഉദ്ദേശം കൊണ്ട് ആയിരിക്കത്തില്ല. And I might go and apologize after that also. I don't have a problem to do that. പക്ഷേ the damage is still done. They're still scarred and there's still pain. So അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ I have done my fair share of mistakes in the beginning, which I am still trying to be kind enough to myself and say it's okay that happened. You also didn't know better. It's a little bit of parenting. പഠിക്കുന്ന പോലെയാ നമ്മൾ when you become a parent for the first time, you don't know what you're supposed to do. You just കുറേ ആൾക്കാർ ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ പറയും, വേറെയുള്ള പാരന്റ്സ് പറയും ഇതിങ്ങനെയാണ് വളർത്തണ്ടേ, പിള്ളേരെ ഇങ്ങനെ നോക്കണ്ടേ. But at the end of the day, you have to find out what works for you and your family. അതേപോലെയാണ് it's your team also. You might have a lot of other startup leaders and startup owners and CEOs coming and telling that ഇത് ഇങ്ങനെയാണ്.
And they have all sorted, wearing blazers, telling you 5 things to do that,
Exactly.
10 things to do that, and then you're like, doesn't work.
No, so the only things that I have kept for me to make this a very crisp answer ആണെങ്കിൽ, one, I have learned that my way is not the highway. Not always. ഞാൻ പറയുന്നതാവണം എപ്പോഴും എന്റെ രീതികൾ മാത്രമാവണം ശരിയെന്ന് ഞാൻ നിർബന്ധം പിടിക്കാറില്ല ഇപ്പൊ. രണ്ട്, whatever it is that I do, I try to operate from a place of respect, even if that means I'm mad at you. You mess up and I am still angry and I'm fuming. It might have cost me money, it might have cost me reputation, but I still try to
fight
operate
with respect.
I will make a point that you've messed up, but I try to now do this in a way that I see that you're still a human and I talk to you with that kind. I don't own you because I pay your salary ഞാൻ തരുന്നുണ്ട്. I don't own you as a person എന്നുള്ളത് is something I try to make very consciously aware. And മൂന്ന്, I have genuinely let go of that image that because I am the boss, I have to be always happy, always sorted, always confident, and always powerful. I'm not. Some days I walk into the office and I feel like crap.
Have you never like yelled at someone because you're mad at for some other reason, but then you, maybe let's just say that you had a bad start to your morning, and then you came to office and a person might have done something and you ended up yelling a little extra because you were carrying that morning baggage?
Maybe among us partners.
Because
nowadays for me it's like I'll vent out on you if anything goes wrong in my life. But with the team, not much. I mean, and my issue and the reaction very much depends on the work that you do.
And the situation, what it is demanding.
Because I think that's also something that I've grown up with, where you say work is work and personal is personal. അപ്പം എൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ നടക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ കൂട്ടുകാരുടെ പ്രശ്നം കൊണ്ടോ ഞാൻ ഒരിക്കലും ഓഫീസിൽ വന്ന് ദേഷ്യപ്പെടാനോ ഒച്ച ഉണ്ടാക്കാനോ ശ്രമിക്കാറില്ല.
I've grown up listening to women bosses are very emotionally driven.
Yeah.
I had male bosses, I've had female bosses, and both actually function in a very different way. The way a woman boss shouts at you versus how a male boss would react to the same situation is actually very different. So I wouldn't even come and be like, it's not about the gender, but it is different. But it's always seen in a very, I know a lot of even girls telling that it's much better to work with guys. It's much better to work with a male boss because they think very rationally, they think very logically, they don't bring in emotions to the fight. However, when a woman boss, when things have to be addressed to them, it's more emotionally driven. What's your stand on that, and why do you think people say that?
Because it's true. Simple, honest answer, it's true. I don't think we all operate equally.
And people say that women are a little tough to work with. So do you think that is also true?
I think women, when they come into a position of leadership, because you have come from a place where all your life you've been told to, shut up and be smaller and shrink yourself. Adina, when a woman gets the position of power and you are in a leadership position, you also don't take bullshit anymore. And that is what makes them difficult to work with, right? So I think if you do your job well and you do your job right, they are not difficult to work with. അത് നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ അങ്ങോട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്നതെന്നും കൂടെ അനുസരിച്ചിരിക്കും എന്നാണ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. Now emotional ആണോ? Yes, I do think so. But I think a lot of women are good at what they do because they have figured out how they can be emotional and use that to their strength.
Exactly.
നിങ്ങളുടെ ഓഫീസിൽ ഇപ്പൊ ഫീഡ്ബാക്സ് കൊടുക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇപ്പൊ ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ മീറ്റിംഗ് ഷോ വെന്റ് വെൽ, ഒരു ഇന്റർവ്യൂ നന്നായി ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തു, whatever, ഞങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും ഒരുമിച്ച് വന്നിരുന്ന ഒരു യു ടോക്ക് അബൌട്ട് ഇറ്റ് അപ്ലോഡ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു സമയമൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാവും. ബട്ട് ഐ മൈറ്റ് ആക്ച്വലി ടിയർ അപ്പ് വെൻ ഐ സേ ഇറ്റ്. എന്റെ കണ്ണ് നിറയും, ഞാൻ ചിലപ്പോൾ കരയും. അതൊക്കെ പിള്ളേരോട് വന്ന് കളിയാക്കാറുണ്ട്, ഓ നീ ചേച്ചി എന്ത് പറഞ്ഞാലും കരച്ചിലോടൊന്നും പറഞ്ഞ്. ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ് I mean, I used to fight it back for a long time, and I used to act like, oh, irikku veshmonnum varilla, because a lot of people taught me in the process that അങ്ങനെ കണ്ണ് നിറയുന്നത് weakness ആണ്.
You have to toughen up.
അത് അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യരുത്, അങ്ങനെ കാണിക്കരുത്. You don't have to be so emotional about everything. At this point I'm like, dude, this is how I am. എനിക്ക് ഒരു കാര്യം നന്നായി നടന്ന് അത്രയും ആൾക്കാർ എഫേർട്ട് എടുത്തൊരു കാര്യം നന്നായി ചെയ്യുന്ന കണ്ടാൽ എനിക്ക് കണ്ണ് നിറയും. അത് ഞാൻ അങ്ങനാണ്. Why do I have to pretend like it's not me?
Yeah, I think
too much of too suffocating to
now use that emotion as your strength, and that's very important, because I can feel it. All this while I thought being emotional is a sign of weakness. While fighting or while talking to someone and anything happens, I get teared up. I'm like, no, don't tear up, don't tear up, don't tear up. I don't want the team to see me as a weak person. But then maybe probably just few months back, I was like, it's okay, let me cry, because I have a female boss, and I remember when I was in my 22 and 23, when she used to get frustrated or she used to cry, I'm like, oh, look at her, maybe she's on her periods, and I feel guilty today. I absolutely feel guilty today, because you are in your 22 23 and like, oh, she's on her periods again, oh, she doesn't have a boyfriend, oh, she doesn't have a life, that is why she's making us to do that. Cut to me not having a life, not having a boyfriend, and me investing more of my time in my work and everything, and I can see myself in that. Oh, inna kalyanam kazhichirundengil, inna Sandhya committed ayirundengil, she would have put all this energy in better things, wouldn't have been, because she's single, because she's frustrated with her life, because she's on her periods, that is why she's acting. That's the kind of casual things I hear it from people. So I don't blame them, kind of, because I was a part of that when I was 22 or 23, casually. Now when I come to that position and I know that how wrong I was, and I realized that how much I had to unlearn. So the best I can do is not to compromise and not to be the person who I'm not, and be absolute true to myself. So that's the least I think I can do.
And also, just to go back to what you said before in terms of people saying that it's easier to work under a male boss and all that,
but they're casual, they're chill.
But I think it's very convenient. എന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാല് ഈ റാഷണൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ബോസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സാധനം ചില സമയത്ത് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് കൺവീനിയന്റ് ആണ്. എപ്പോഴാ? വെൻ യു maybe you make a mistake, or എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു പ്രോജക്റ്റ് നമ്മൾ നോക്കിയിട്ട് അത് കിട്ടിയില്ല, or ക്ലയന്റിന്റെ അടുത്തുള്ള കോൾ വരെയൊക്കെ വന്നില്ല, ആ സമയത്തൊക്കെ your boss being very rational is convenient, because you don't want to get shouted at, and you don't want somebody to come and say, what are you doing with your life, or something like that. അങ്ങനെ ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് അത് rational approach എല്ലാവർക്കും ഓക്കെയാണ്. But at the same time, on the flip side, let's say you have a bad day and you're not feeling it, and you communicate this to the rational boss that you have, they'll not care. But at the same time, you have somebody else who's a little more emotionally driven. You come and say, listen, I've been going through this and I think I'm overwhelmed. Chances are that emotional boss is going to be the person who comes and says, listen, I get you, I understand, let's see how we can take the load off you. So it's very convenient. Convenience അനുസരിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഇന്ന ബോസ് നല്ലതാ, ഇന്ന ബോസ് നല്ലതല്ല എന്ന് തോന്നുന്നത്. I think you can be an emotional boss, you can be a rational boss, you can be whatever kind of a leader that you want to be, as long as kindness and respect are the fundamentals of it. അതുള്ളിടത്തോളം കാലം ഏത് രീതിയിൽ വേണമെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ ടീമിനെ ലീഡ് ചെയ്തോളൂ. That is your way of doing it. You can be very emotionally detached from your team and still run a very, very good team. You can also be very emotionally attached to your team and still run a brilliant team. I think with the foundation is kindness and respect, it's going to be fine. So I think there's no one right solution ഉണ്ടെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നില്ല. And this is like a relationship, right? ഒരു എംപ്ലോയി ആൻഡ് എംപ്ലോയർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പാ. And in any relationship, it's a two-way street. I give you what I get also.
Very. Yes, yes.
I'm not a robot that just operates. If in the office, 20 പേരുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ 20 പേരുമായിട്ടുള്ള individual relationships different.
Yeah.
എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് ചില ആൾക്കാർ I know that they need to be handled with a little more softness. I will handle you with that softness as long as you get your work done.
Yeah.
But some people don't want that. Some people just want me to have a very 6 മണിക്ക് cut off ചെയ്യുന്ന kind of a relationship. If that's what you want, I can be that also.
Neetu, this brings me back to one of the most important questions that I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you. We come from a very patriarchal mindset. Let's not shy away from the fact that Kerala is a very patriarchal driven society.
Yeah.
We as individuals are trying to break that path, trying small steps. Now that we are working in Kochi, we are working in Kerala.
Yeah.
How much of this patriarchy influence you see in our working culture?
ഉണ്ട് ഇല്ല എന്ന് ഞാൻ പറയില്ല but I also will acknowledge that it's changing. It's a process, it's changing, but it's still there. Like I was telling you ഇന്നലെ, for example, when me, Binu, Rishi, like all three of us going for a meeting, even today there are people who just by default do not look at me or talk to me, and who just only will have communication with Rishi and Binu purely because for some reason in their head it's wired that I'm probably a secretary or somebody who's there to take minutes. അവരുടെ തലയിൽ കൂടെ ഓടുന്നില്ല that oh, she might also be a decision maker in the process. For a longest period of time, I used to feel very angry about it. I used to walk out of that meeting feeling furious, and പിന്നെ ഞാനൊരു ദിവസം മൊത്തം അങ്ങനെ അവരെ ചീത്ത വിളിച്ചോണ്ടിരിക്കും. പക്ഷെ പിന്നീട് എനിക്ക് എപ്പോഴൊക്കെയോ മനസ്സിലായി തുടങ്ങി that like I said, അവര് എന്താണോ കണ്ടു വളർന്നത് അതാണ് അവർ കാണിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. ചില ആൾക്കാർ അതിൽ ഭയങ്കര സ്റ്റെഡ് ഫാസ്റ്റ് ആണ്, ഇതാണ് ശരി, ഇത് മാത്രമാണ് ശരി, ഞങ്ങൾ അവരോട് മാത്രമേ സംസാരിക്കൂ. സം പീപ്പിൾ വേർ ക്ലയൻസ് വേർ യു അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ആഫ്റ്റർ എ പോയിന്റ് ദാറ്റ് ഇവർക്ക് എന്നോട് സംസാരിക്കാൻ താല്പര്യമേ ഇല്ല. ദേ വിൽ ഓൺലി, ഞാൻ പറയുന്ന അതേ കാര്യം എന്റെ മെയിൽ പാർട്ട്നേഴ്സ് പറഞ്ഞ ദേ വിൽ ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ്ലി ബി ലൈക്ക് ഗുഡ് ഐഡിയ. സെയിം ഐഡിയ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ നമ്മൾ ചിന്തിക്കട്ടെ. അപ്പൊ ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ now I have come to a point where I need work done. So if you listen to him, listen to him. But in the bigger picture, now to change that narrative, what I do is I try to do things that will change that conversation in the bigger picture. I mean, there is anger, yes, there is frustration, yes, I do understand this is not how it should be. ഞാൻ അങ്ങനെ വളർന്നു വന്നൊരു കുട്ടിയല്ല. എന്റെ വീട്ടിൽ my dad has always been very, you know, like it's never been അപ്പ പറയും നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യും അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ഡൈനാമിക്സ് ഉള്ള വീട്ടിലല്ല ഞാൻ വളർന്നു വന്നത്. It's always been a conversation. I decide, we all take. Of course there is എതിർപ്പ്, whatever, like any parent, but it's never been my dad runs the household kind of situation. No. അപ്പൊ അവിടുന്ന് വന്നിട്ടുള്ള എനിക്ക് പെട്ടെന്ന് ഇതൊക്കെ കാണുമ്പോൾ it's cultural shock in your own country. But I'm in a place where I realize I can't change this in a day. I can't change this alone. This has to be a collective. If I had a conversation with somebody the other day who was in a very strong position of power, who told something saying, എടാ ഹയർ ചെയ്തിട്ടും പെൺപിള്ളേരെ ഇനി എടുക്കണ്ടെന്നാ തോന്നുന്നത്. I don't think I'm hiring girls anymore because they're very hard to maintain and manage. മാസത്തിൽ ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് മൂഡ് സ്വിങ്സ് വരും, അത് വരും ഇത് വരും എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ് ഇവര് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യില്ല എന്ന് വരും. And ഇത് പറയുന്നതും is a woman. So I feel like that is where you have to start making change. Where you come to a position where you empower more women and you give them that kind of a safe, secure place where they know that their voice is heard. There are a lot of people who don't take me seriously because I'm a girl. Two, because I'm young. If I am around 50 something and have that kind of a life
gray
experience,
hair and specs and everything, and then if you say
അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ ഇരുന്നൊരു എപ്പോഴും ഞാൻ അങ്ങനെ ആ ഒരു ഭയങ്കര മെച്ചോർഡ് സൊഫിസ്റ്റിക്കേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ് ഒക്കെ പിടിച്ചാൽ ചിലപ്പോ എനിക്ക് കിട്ടേണ്ട റെസ്പെക്ട് എനിക്ക് കിട്ടുമായിരിക്കാം. I have to give credit to the guys that I work with also. I work with men who are so in touch and tune with their masculine and feminine side for that matter, that they are not intimidated by me doing things the way I want to do it.
And that's very important for us to grow as well. We need to be surrounded with right kind of men as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not a one-way battle again.
ഞാൻ ഇത്രയൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടും if I go back to a team where when I say listen I'll run this meeting, ഞാൻ ലീഡ് ചെയ്തോളാം എന്ന് പറയുമ്പം അത് വർക്കാവും തോന്നുള്ള നീ ഇരുന്നോ ഞാൻ സംസാരിച്ചോളാം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുടെ കൂടെയാണ് ഞാൻ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നതെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് എന്ത് പറഞ്ഞാലും എനിക്കൊന്നും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ my energy will only go in trying to educate them, right? പക്ഷെ I am very fortunate to be working with, and I take this as a privilege. I don't think this is everyone's story. Honestly, this is only my story right now. I am very privileged to be working with men who are not intimidated by me putting my foot down and saying ഇല്ല ഇത് വർക്കാവില്ല, ഇത് വർക്കാവും, ഇത് ഞാൻ പറയും, ഇത് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യും, ഇത് ഇന്ന ഷൂട്ട് ഞാൻ ഡയറക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും, ഈ ഷൂട്ട് ഞാൻ ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്യും, ഇത് പറയുന്നതിനകത്തും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് തരുന്നതിനകത്തും ഒരു രീതിയിലും ശ്വാസം മുട്ടൽ ഫീൽ ചെയ്യാത്ത കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരാണ് എന്റെ ചുറ്റുമുള്ളത്. That's a huge win also. I don't want to glorify something that should be normal. This is how it should be. But ഇന്ന് അത് അത്രയ്ക്ക് നോർമൽ അല്ലാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് I do want to give credit to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it is there. I feel like we all spend so much time talking about this rather than actually doing things to bring in change. So
and you don't have to do big, it's just small day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So that while you're talking about surrounding yourself with right kind of men who empowers you to do the right kind of things, there's in hindsight as the other way of the kind of women you're surrounded with.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that two women cannot work together. There's always drama, there's always a cat fight. In every aspect, like even in terms of if you take Bollywood, there's always that two actresses can't be in one frame. Even in corporate or even if you take it in media, it's always women against women. Have you had a bad experience where you felt like another woman is pulling you down and like boss, you shouldn't have done that?
Yes, I do, but then I also do understand where that comes from. Again, like I said, നമ്മളത് സംസാരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്, I think at this point the moment you start understanding why somebody is doing something, everything just is a lot easier to deal with. I have had women who have talked trash about me, who have slut shamed me, who have pulled opportunities away from me. ഇതൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ I have to also say ആണുങ്ങളും ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് പെണ്ണുങ്ങളും ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. Both have done it.
Maybe how we can say it's more about the individual and not to do with the gender. Is that how you see it now, or it's just you see that consciously because the other person, if she's a woman, both are emotional at this point, because how you are thinking right now is exactly probably how that person is also thinking now. Imagine you are both working for one particular project. Both of you are emotionally driven, both of you are ambitious, both of you all want it. So what might have gone wrong? Is it two women, or is it the individual has gone wrong? Because I try to make it like no. So whenever I have issues with women, I try not to be the victim person and be like, okay, woman against woman. I try not to do that, and I try to see from a third lens. Is it an individual issue or is it a gender issue? Because how much ever emotional I am as a person, my opposite woman is also equally emotional. So it's too much of emotions coming together. Or is it just these things didn't work out because one of them chose to be a just the the character went wrong, or the individual as a person went wrong? How do you see this as an issue?
I think it's an individual issue, and I'll tell you why. Because ഇപ്പൊ പെൺപിള്ളേരുടെ അടുത്ത് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, all of these problems are very rooted. It doesn't start നമ്മൾ കാണുന്നിടത്ത് ഒന്നുമല്ല തുടങ്ങുന്നത്, അതൊക്കെ മുന്നേ തുടങ്ങുന്ന പ്രശ്നങ്ങളാ. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടില് ഇപ്പോഴും ഇന്നും ഞായറാഴ്ച പള്ളിയിൽ പോകുന്ന സമയത്ത് I still know of moms or dads who say അന്ന ഇട്ടേക്കുന്ന ചുരിദാർ കണ്ടില്ലേ, അതിനെക്കാട്ടിലും നല്ലൊരു ചുരിദാർ വേണം കേട്ടോ നീ ഇടാനായിട്ട്. And it's always about, you have to marry somebody better than this pengutti. You have to study something better than the other pengutti. നമ്മൾ ആസ് എ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി ഇൻ ഇറ്റ് സെൽഫ് കുഞ്ഞായിരിക്കുമ്പോ തൊട്ടേ ഇങ്ങനെ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും
കോൺസ്റ്റന്റ്
കമ്പാരിസൺ ഉണ്ട്. പിന്നെ പെൺപിള്ളേരുടെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് ഇപ്പം അവളുടെ കളർ കണ്ടില്ലേ, നിനക്ക് കുറച്ചും കൂടെ എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ചെയ്ത് കുറച്ചുകൂടെ കളർ വെച്ചൂടെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവൾ ഒരുങ്ങി നടക്കുന്ന കണ്ടില്ലേ, എന്ത് ഭംഗിയാ കൊച്ചു ഒരുങ്ങി നടക്കുന്ന കാണാൻ, നിനക്ക് എന്താ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ ഒന്ന് ഒരുങ്ങിയാല്. ഈ പെൺപിള്ളേരെ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും അഗൈൻസ്റ്റ് ഈച്ച് അതർ ആക്കുന്ന പരിപാടി ഇപ്പോഴും ഉണ്ട്, പണ്ടും ഉണ്ട്. ഞാനും കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്.
Mm.
അപ്പൊ ഇത് കേട്ട് കേട്ട് ഇന്റേണലൈസ് ചെയ്ത് വരുമ്പോ ഒരു പോയിന്റ് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻസ് ഇസ് സി വെൻ യു കീപ് ടെല്ലിങ് എ ചൈൽഡ് ദാറ്റ് ദിസ് ഇസ് യുവർ എനിമി, ദിസ് ഇസ് യുവർ എനിമി, ദിസ് ഇസ് യുവർ എനിമി, യു ഹിയർ ഇറ്റ് ഫോർ ലോങ് എനഫ്, യു വിൽ ബിലീവ് ഇറ്റ്.
Mm.
അപ്പൊ ഒരു പോയിന്റ് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ എന്ത് പറ്റും എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ യു സ്റ്റാർട്ട് തിങ്കിങ് ആൻഡ് ലുക്കിംഗ് അറ്റ് എനി അതർ വുമൺ ആസ് എ പ്രോബ്ലം ഓർ ആസ് എൻ എനിമി.
Mhm.
പക്ഷെ അത് നമുക്ക് മാറ്റിയെടുക്കാവുന്നതേ ഉള്ളൂ എന്നാണ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത്.
Mhm.
Again, when you start looking at them as like as everybody as individuals
Mhm.
and with their story, I think this starts melting away.
And then it becomes issues between two individuals.
Exactly.
Not
എന്നെ
between two.
സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം I have people I don't work with.
Mm.
Fundamentally, I have people that this kind of people, this kind of person I will not work with.
Mm.
In a kind of energy I will not work with. This kind of dishonesty I do not tolerate.
Mm.
But that is not bound to the gender that they are.
Mm.
അതിപ്പോ ആണാണോ പെണ്ണാണോ വേറെന്തെങ്കിലും അതൊന്നും ആയിട്ട് ഇതിനകത്ത് ഒരു ബന്ധവുമില്ല.
Mhm.
It's purely based on how you are, how you treat people around you, how you get work done essentially.
Mhm.
And on that basis I may or may not work with you, and that's it.
Mm.
അല്ലാതെ ഇന്ന ഇന്ന ഒരു പെൺകുട്ടി ആയതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ഒരുമിച്ച് അസോസിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യില്ല, ഒരു ആൺകുട്ടി ആയതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ഇവരുടെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യില്ല, അങ്ങനെ ഒന്നും എനിക്കില്ല. അത് ശരിയാണോ തെറ്റാണോ എന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല സന്ധ്യ, ടു ബി ഓണസ്റ്റ്.
Yeah. We are all learning.
Like
We are also learning and unlearning.
when we talk about feminism and how I can make this place safer for women or how I can empower women എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുമ്പോഴും I am putting a very strong disclaimer out there that I am also only learning all of this.
Mm.
ഇതൊന്നും എന്റെ വീട്ടിൽ സംസാരിച്ച് ചർച്ച ചെയ്ത് ഞാൻ പഠിച്ചു വന്നിട്ടിരിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളല്ല.
Mm.
നമ്മള് ഇൻ ദ പ്രോസസ് മനസ്സിലാക്കി വരുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. പക്ഷെ ഐ എം ജസ്റ്റ് സെയിങ് ദിസ് ഇസ് ഹൗ ഐ ഓപ്പറേറ്റ്. ദിസ് ഇസ് ദ ഓൺലി വേ ഐ കൻ ഓപ്പറേറ്റ്
As per your experience.
as per my experiences. ഇപ്പൊ when you call me for a show, I know Sandhya is calling me for a show.
Mm.
I know that I like your energy.
Mm.
I like where you come from and what
Mm.
you want to talk about.
Mm.
That's the only meter for me.
Mm.
അതിനപ്പുറത്തോട്ട് ഞാൻ ഇതൊരു പെൺകുട്ടി വിളിച്ചതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ വരാമെന്നോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഓ ഷീസ് എ ഗേൾ, ഷീസ് ഓൾസോ ഡൂയിങ് എ പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ്, ഐ ഓൾസോ ഡൂ ദീസ് ഷോസ്, potential competition, I am not showing up. No, I don't function that way also. I don't think we have to complicate it that much. It's just very straightforward. I like you, I like your energy, I like your vibe, I like your intention. Work together.
Let's do it.
If not doing it. That's it. Simple.
The reason I asked was because you said we are also learning, we are also unlearning. Because in my own career, I've had issues with women. And my first instinct would be like, yeah, I don't want to work with women anymore. Yeah, I don't. But just few years back, I realized that I've had equal share of fights with men also.
Yeah.
But I don't say that I don't want to work with men anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's inevitable. You will have to work with men. But now that I came to a certain position, I've realized that in fact I've like kind of fired one or two women out there. And a lot of people went on to saying that, Sandhya can't just work with another female person. And because I was so rooted to that thought, I actually believed that I cannot function with another woman. And I felt, now that I feel so guilty about it, I was like, yeah man, just that's what I'm saying. We also have to learn and unlearn a lot.
Yeah.
Because my first instinct also was like, yeah, two women just can't get along. Two women just can't get along. Two women. Casually we are seeing it.
Yeah.
But then I realized that I have fired guys also. But that time we don't say that it's a guy-girl issue. Or we don't say, and when two men are having differences, I don't say, it's a men and men issue.
Yeah.
But whenever I'm having an issue with women, forget everyone. I'm the first one to say, women and women just don't get along. Women and women don't get along. It's just that maybe few months back I realized that it's nothing to do with her being a woman. It's just that two individuals just weren't on the same page.
Yeah.
But because we were so inherently rooted, because I was always constantly compared to girls, that I need to look better than this girl.
Yeah.
She's got married, so you need to get married. She's having a better thing, so you think. So it's always and it's unfortunate, but it's coming from our own family or other women telling that, hey, look at the other woman.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked that. Now I feel the question needs to be changed, that can two women work together? It's more about, can two individuals with this kind of principles work together?
And it's ഇപ്പോഴും ചെറിയ സാധനങ്ങളില്ലേ, like we always look at the bigger problems. I feel like it's always the accumulation of the little things that make a big mess out of things. ഇപ്പം ഒരു ഓഫീസിൽ ഇപ്പൊ എന്റെ ടീമിനകത്ത് 10 പേരുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിനകത്ത് ഞാൻ എത്ര സ്ത്രീകളെ പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യണം, എത്ര ആണുങ്ങളെ പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യണം എന്നല്ല ചിന്തിക്കാറ്. എത്ര പേരെ എനിക്ക് പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യണം, അതിൽ എത്ര പേര് നന്നായി പെർഫോം ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ വെരി ഇൻഡിവിജ്വൽ അപ്രോച്ച്. അല്ലാണ്ട് you perform well, you will get what you deserve. You perform well, you will be promoted. I think you are capable of handling the show, you will handle the shoot. That has nothing to do with your gender or what you come from, where you come from. None of those things.
Just out of curiosity, what would be your definition of feminism?
This is where I get into trouble.
You're thinking to be politically correct.
No. I'm not thinking to be, because I don't think there is any politically correct in this. കാരണം ഇതിന്റെ കറക്റ്റ് എന്താണെന്നുള്ളത് ആരും ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ എന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു.
കുറെ ആൾക്കാർ ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്തു.
You always define things for yourself.
Yeah.
അപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് ഇതിനകത്ത് ശരിയും തെറ്റുണ്ടോ എന്ന് എനിക്ക് അറിയില്ല. എന്നെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം it's about seeing it's a lot of things actually. I don't understand how people define feminism in a single sentence. It's so many things. Like, I'll tell you what, for me, it's again the small things. Like, for example, seeing women running the show. That for me is feminism. To see women who are unmarried at 40 not being asked random questions of why you're unmarried and getting to do their thing is feminism.
Probably that is going to be me and Neetu after 10 years exactly.
So that to me is also feminism. But also us being respectful of women who say, I want to be a housewife and raise kids and look after my family. That's also feminism. See, at the end of the day, for me, it's like, shouldn't this be a no-brainer? Like, you should be able to do what you want to do, irrespective of who you sleep with, who you are, who you're attracted to, what your gender is. That should be essentially feminism.
You think that's important? Is feminism is required?
Yes, I do think so. Ippam, you look at the women in cinema. I think ഇവിടെ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ കേരളത്തില് WCC ആയിരിക്കാം ഫെമിനിസത്തിനെ കുറിച്ച് അങ്ങനെ അത്രയ്ക്ക് വോക്കലായിട്ട് സംസാരിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവുക. You can say whatever you want, but reality is that today when women go onto a set for a film, they know what to demand. They know that they deserve a caravan, or they deserve a good space to change clothes and settle and sit down. You at least know your rights at this point. അപ്പൊ അത് ഇവരുടെ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് തന്നെയല്ലേ, അവര് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന മൂവ്മെന്റിന്റെ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് അല്ലേ. You know when something is not okay and you have to leave the room. Or you have to call someone out. അതിനൊക്കെ ഒരു കോൺഫിഡൻസും ധൈര്യവും കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു കളക്റ്റീവ് ഓഫ് വിമൻ ആണെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു. So yes, it is necessary. It is definitely necessary. But it's also, I think it's something you have to define for yourself individually, what it means to you. അല്ലാണ്ട് ആരെങ്കിലും എഴുതി തന്ന ഒരു സാധനം അങ്ങനെ, അതാ ഞാൻ എനിക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിച്ചപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ സ്റ്റക്ക് ആവുന്നത്. Because for me it means a lot of things.
And let's see, at the end of the day, how you define it, that is what it matters.
Yeah, I mean, for me it is a lot of things. It's whatever choice you as a woman make.
Just follow what you want to do without being interrupted or asked.
Simple. Whatever choice you make as a woman, that to me is feminism. Be it whatever. Whatever. No questions asked.
Neetu, that brings us to the last question.
Okay.
What probably would be the 3 tips you want to give to the young media aspirants in Kochi? Specifically girls, let's just say that.
Disclaimer. ഞാൻ ടിപ്സ് കൊടുക്കാൻ എനിക്കൊരു 5 വർഷം കൂടെ പോകണം. But one, stay very, very true to yourself. Religiously stay true to yourself, no matter what people around you say. There is always going to be a space for you if you are true to who you are and what you want to do. 2, refine your skills. മീഡിയ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് വെറുതെ വന്നിട്ട് യു ലുക്ക് ഗുഡ് അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാം ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് സ്പേസ് അല്ല. You have to, whatever skill set it is that you're trying to develop, it's continuously updating, it's continuously growing. So make sure you're up on top of the game. keep redefining your skills, and studying again and again and again. And third is probably going to be understand that it's always going to be competition. It's called a collaboration over competition. There's genuinely enough out there, even though the world and the people will make you feel like you have to feel threatened by a lot of things. There's enough for everybody. So just find good talent, identify people you resonate with, collaborate with them, help them grow, and you also grow in the process. It's a collective thing. ഒരാൾ മാത്രം ഇവിടെ ഒറ്റയ്ക്ക് വളർന്നൊന്നും നേടാൻ പോണില്ല. എല്ലാവരും ഒരുമിച്ച് വളർന്നാലേ ഈ സിസ്റ്റം വളരത്തുള്ളൂ, എല്ലാവരും വളരത്തുള്ളൂ, ഈ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി വളരത്തുള്ളൂ. സോ 100% any day collaborate over compete. I think these would be three things I would say.
I think that's such a beautiful take, like collaborate over competition, because the world where we are, we have been taught to be competitive and
Yeah.
be in the frontliner.
Mhm.
But if we have to be here and do good, collaboration is like the most important thing.
Yeah.
So in that case, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Neetu. There were so many things that I learned personally from you, and that's exactly why I like you so much, because I think every conversation, we barely had few one-to-one conversation, but I always have some key takeaways from you, and I think I can relate to you a lot. Again, two outside Kerala girls trying to do, making some impact,
Yeah.
want to give back to our community where we are coming from, and trying to do. But as you said, you have your good days and bad days, and I feel good that
I think
wow,
at this point I have to put it on a t-shirt, because I say this every other day: good day, bad days,
yeah,
nalladu.
and normalizing it. So
Yeah.
that's very important. So thank you so much.
And I want to take a second and say thank you to you, because this is one of your first shows you're doing, and
Yeah.
I mean episodes you're doing. So thank you for trusting me with your time.
Yes.
This could have gone south, dude.
So
So
I knew
thank
this
you.
couldn't have gone south with you for
thank
definitely.
you for trusting me with your time, and I think what you're doing is mad cool. I think we need to have shows where people want to have conversations of depth, and അല്ലാതെ വെറുതെ ഇരുന്ന് കുറച്ച് ബഹളം ഉണ്ടാക്കി കുറെ വ്യൂസ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുക മാത്രമല്ല.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited to see where this goes, and I wish you all the best.
Yes. ഞാൻ ഈ ഷോ തുടങ്ങുന്ന മുമ്പ് ഞാൻ നീതുനോട് സംസാരിച്ചായിരുന്നു, and I
Mm.
told Neetu that കുറെ ആൾക്കാർ എന്നോട് പറഞ്ഞു ഈ ഷോ ഈ ഫോർമാറ്റിൽ ചെയ്യണ്ട, ഇങ്ങനത്തെ സംസാരം ചെയ്താൽ
Yeah.
ഇത്ര മാസി ആക്കണം, ഇത്ര ലോക്കൽ ആക്കണം, അന്നാണ് ഇത്ര വ്യൂസ് ഒക്കെ കേറത്തുള്ളൂ എന്ന്.
Mm.
But I think the tip you told me was someone has to start, because I want to start something, the kind of content I consume.
Yeah.
I felt like it's high time that, you know, my community or Kerala market deserves that kind of content too.
Yeah.
And stories from Kerala should be out. We are not here just to do the big talks, but hey, we are here to do beyond something, shifting the narrative.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of guest I want, who have helped people, who have helped shifting the narrative, who's helped to move that pin. And I see that you're one among them, who's working day in and day out to bringing that thing to the plate, or shifting that narrative, or that small change. That is what, if we all collectively do it, we hoping that we can see a bigger impact. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, Neetu.
Thank
All
you.
the very best for all the big projects. I know you're working on some kick-ass projects secretly. So I'm hoping that you achieve in everything, you
Thank
and
you.
your team. So yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Yay! And that's it. Thank you so much, guys. We'll come back with the next episode, The Mumbai Malayali Show. Bye.